Hi, this is Russell Murray from Delaware Business Incorporators. This is the second video in our BOI, Beneficial Ownership Information series. And in this video, I'll show you where we are on the website. So we're going to go down to here. There's exemptions, and probably most of these exemptions will not apply. The purpose of the BOI, the Corporate Transparency Act, was to get the probably 32 to 34 million small businesses and entities to comply with beneficial ownership information. So, but there are some entities that are exempted. So I'll go down them really quick. Certain types of securities, reporting issuers, U.S. government authorities, certain types of banks, federal state credit unions, bank holding company, money transmitting or money services businesses. Most of these businesses are already heavily regulated, so this is why they don't need to. That's why they're getting an exemption. Any broker-dealer, securities exchanges or clearing agencies, certain other types of entities registered with the SEC, certain types of investment companies as defined in Section 3 of the Investment Company Act of 1940, certain types of venture capital fund advisors, state licensed insurance producers, Commodity Exchange Act registered entities, any public accounting firm registered in accordance with Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002, certain types of regulated public utilities, any financial market utility designated by the Financial Stability Oversight Council, certain pooled investment vehicles, entities assisting a tax-exempt entity described in XIX above. And here's probably one of the most important ones: large operating companies. So if you have more than 20 full-time employees and more than 5 million in gross receipts or sales, and an operating presence at a physical office within the United States, then you're exempt. The subsidiaries of certain exempt entities are also exempt. And this is another important one. Certain types of inactive entities that were in existence on or before January 1st, 2020. So we've had some customers that said, well, I haven't done any business and I'm going to close my business down this month, January 2024. And, you know, if they were in business or incorporated before January 1st of 2020, regardless of what their activity was for 2021 or 2022, and even if they're going to be closing the business, they're still required to disclose who the beneficial owners were. All right, so one of the services we provide is beneficial ownership information compliance service. So as low as $147, depends on number of owners you have. We will do all the paperwork for you, do all the registration with FinCEN, and we will give you monthly reminders so that if you've had any changes to the ownership of the company, we will send an email and prompt you to say, hey, yeah, reply back, there was some changes, okay. So we can do those changes for you. And with our annual fee, we can make unlimited changes at no additional charge. So, okay, that's the end of this video. Appreciate your time.